Hi, people. It is September 3rd. Okay, I was just laughing at myself. I went upstairs to get my shades because I was going to go outside and walk. And it's not the most pleasant thing going up and down the stairs. I mean, it's good exercise, okay? Oh, and yeah, someone else has to take that. I have a mirror waiting to go in my room. I'll show it to you. I don't know. Anyway, it's going to be cool because I want to talk into a mirror. I do like to look at myself. Yes, I do. Okay. Look into my soul. Look through your eyes. So I went upstairs to get my shades, and doggone it, I know I had them. But I came down without them. And I've discovered, stupidity, I've discovered why a person would need a bag. Yeah, I'm not talking about a purse. I'm talking about those bags that you carry things around in. Like going up and down the stairs, okay? It's a good thing. But it also gives you the odds for falling. At least it's got carpet, but I still wouldn't want to fall. And my tennis shoes, when I'm wearing my tennis shoes, they like to grab on it if I don't go kind of sideways. But I love my room. So I'm going to come in here and see if I can find my shades. I had them. I know I did. Where are they? Doggone it. I started moving stuff around in my bedroom a little bit, making way for my sewing machine. Because right now, I don't know if the house is empty, but it's empty of the family members. Because there's a couple of renters that I don't know their work schedules. Okay. Anyway, I've got to go through my stuff. I feel a need to go through my stuff again. And I do have things. I have materials that I had bought because I was gonna get busy making stuff. Geez, I don't even know how long ago that was. Probably a year and a half. However long it was, let's see, March to March was a year. And then March to now would be what? April, May, June, July, August. All the way through August makes it 5 months for this year. So a year and 5 months. Seems like longer than that. It seems like it's been at least 2 years. I was getting all busy, gonna make some stuff, and then I switched gears. My attentions were distracted quite a bit. And so out the door it went. So the point is, I've got all these materials. I could be doing that. I was gonna make, I'm rambling on, I don't even know. I did tell you the date, right? September 3rd, 2024. And it's Lou. And I know I told you. Anyway, if I get busy, I mean, I don't know, but I used to go around to fairs and different things, and I know that at Christmas time there are markets, and I know there's some kind of, that was in Kennewick. I'm sure they do the same thing everywhere where they have a market, like a farmer's market, or then they have vendors come and sell their stuff. Christmas time especially, they'll have, like, at the fairgrounds, they'll have a big old thing where people come from all over the place selling their wares for Christmas. I don't know what it would be called. My foot's hurting. All right, I came up here for my shades. Having a hard time with holding on to those things because they're the clip-ons. They're not regular glasses. I have a hard time holding on to my regular glasses if they're not on my face. And they'll be on my face sometimes, and I'll be looking for them because I can't see good enough. Okay, what is it? I should really take that and see. I think I will. That's what I'll do. I didn't take a pain pill, so I'll take this. You know, there's a dispensary around. Actually, there's several, I guess, but you have to go 15 minutes at least to get there. I know, I'm spoiled. I do like being away from all the city stuff. And those are probably just small little cities that are joining to this. I'm not sure how many people. Puyallup, if I'm saying that right. That's, I think, 15 miles away. Anyway, I think that's where the closest dispensary is 15 miles away. And I really wish there was one right around the corner. You know, I don't want much. Because I'd like to go and see if I couldn't work for them. And then it would be easy to get to work. I don't want to drive. Anyway, here I am complaining. That's what I'm good at. But what started all that is they have edibles, medicine, and I'm going to take one and check it out. So I'll show it to you. It's like I think it's like a piece of candy. Someone turned me on to it. So I'm going to try it. I was going to take a pain pill. Now I hear a cat, but it's a person acting like a cat. All right, where are my shades? They should be on my glasses. I already looked in this drawer. And I took my morning pills. I did that downstairs. And my shades might be down there. But I didn't see them. So let me see. It's amazing how many times I say that. Let me see. I know, honey. My sister can't see. But she can see with her hands. She can see probably better sometimes than we can. But I want to know where my shades are now. I probably took them off downstairs and just didn't see where I laid them. I'll do a little growling. I don't want to wear glasses. I thought about getting contacts, but no one's really ever offered that. And since I've had cataracts and I had cataract surgery, I don't know if that's what they're saying. It's not a possibility, but I would think it is. And I could see perfectly clear after my surgery, my cataracts. But that didn't really last. You know, they had you putting all these different drops in your eyes and stuff. But part of it was antibiotics. And I'm not sure what the rest of it was. But it had to do with the healing, probably. Anyway, by the time I got done with all those things, I wasn't seeing quite as good. Anyway, I can see pretty good. I can't complain. If I think about the fact that I couldn't see at all, and I can see, it's amazing. It is amazing to me. So what do I do with those little babies? Ugh. Guess I can go outside without them. I don't want to. And I know I just had them off. I took them off somewhere in the kitchen. I know I didn't. All right, so I'm going to take my little candy and go down and finish my coffee. Find my shades. Yes, wow. Okay, let's see. I was going to delve into this book later. I was telling you about this book, right? This is the first book out of the series. Can you see it? Let me see. Yeah, you can see it. So Jesus is coming up talking to these fishers. These fishers are fish. I have a feeling that is Simon Peter. I mean, his name is Simon Peter. I'm not really sure, so maybe I shouldn't say. But I thought I would open the book up and maybe read a little bit out of it and then just see how that goes. But maybe just read you little, what do they call those, excerpts? I don't know if that's what they call it or not. But you know, just open up the book and read. But I have to be able to see you too. And what I was going to do is see if I can't figure out a way to set up this phone where I don't have to have it in my hand, where I can just talk to you guys. But what we're going to do when Nancy comes home, or sometime soon, I see that she's got the string on there, we're going to put up a mirror. So this is my desk. Then it's covered with stuff like usual. But I'm going to move that, and then it'll be covered with a sewing machine. But I've also thought about stacking something up so that I can put the phone on, so I can just talk to the phone. But really what I should do is my iPad, so you get the whole screen, right? Nevertheless, I'm going to go walk. And yes, I'm working. My little brain is working. You know what? I think I'm going to go ahead and give me some medicine. Now, I told you guys, I'm going to put you down too, right there in front of the TV. Told you guys I made some oil. Me and Joe made some oil, and I made some oil because I had my own ideas, and I didn't like messing with that. We had a distiller, so you can distill water. We still have it there. But when you try to do your oil that way and you're extracting the alcohol and the oil's remaining in the bottom, but it is such a mess. Such a mess, and I feel like we lost a lot. I just felt like it was, you know, I figured it is the cost of doing the medicine. You don't need to try to save the alcohol. I mean, if you can without it being a mess. But myself, I used a rice cooker. And then I did it a little bit at a time. And I got it down to where, anyway, you could work with it. Now, then I did my own process I told you guys about. I know my lips don't look good. I'm sorry. Anyway, what I did was I took the oil that I got from my rice cooker, and then I mixed it with some sunflower lecithin and coconut oil. Now, this coconut oil was the fractionated kind. And organic, I always want to go organic. But anyway, it was fractionated, which means so it had been refined a little bit. They took, I think it was a high fatty chain. I don't know how to explain it, and I don't understand it, or how they could do that. But through a process, they got the high fatty chain out and left the two mediums. I think that's what it said. But anyway, the point is that coconut oil does not go solid. It stays liquid, okay? And then there's one other thing about it. It has a different makeup, like micro, you know, what we're trying to do is get this medicine into our bodies, okay? And it ain't going into my body through, I don't have a gallbladder, and it's not going through that hole. I already found that out because I threw it all up. And I mean days and days and days of stuff in my body that I kept, and then finally I threw it all up. And there they were, because I put it in capsules. But they're saying you can do that. But see, the thing is, I don't have the stomach acid that normal people do because I don't have my gallbladder. Gallbladder is a pretty important little gadget there. I think we don't need it. Huh. It holds your bile, it disperses your bile in digestive type situations. You know, it can have bad things, you know, like the heartburn, but there's ways to get rid of things without taking your organs out. But you have to know about it before it's an emergency. And yes, there's a light on back there. And the sun came out because I got the curtains open. Anyway, I was going to show you my medicine. See, this is a liquid. And this is, it's at least 1 to 1. I think that's exactly what it was. It was 1 gram. 1 gram in a syringe of the tarry type stuff that you're going to use. You know, sometimes it's not quite as thick, but it does thicken as time goes on too. Anyway, so 1 gram of that to 1 ounce of this fractionated coconut oil. And then what I did was I did 4 grams and 4 ounces. I think that's all I did in that little batch. Because I use my beaker. You don't want to go too high. And the beaker, when you mix all this stuff together, the sunflower lecithin will blend them together so that they don't separate. And with it being the fractionated, you're getting it down to a micro level. So that's my first step after I've got my oil. But we made our own oil, okay? And I haven't seen what I like in the dispensaries. Maybe they're just putting it somewhere else. Plus, you know, they get all kinds of different things they're getting out of the pot. The weed, the plant matter. Because there's 200 compounds, okay? Not all of them get you high, but maybe they do, like body highs and stuff that you don't even know, relaxing type things. I just don't want to go to sleep. I call it a buzz, but I like the, I want to say thinking processes that go on, you know. It's like pathways open up to your understanding when you're processing things. But maybe I'm just a great thinker. Some of you will get that too. Anyway. And then there's Pooh Bear. Think. See, I like him too. So I don't know. All I know is, okay, this medicine here, I put this under my tongue, okay? I've got a dropper here. Ha! So I'll show you. I got a dropper. And that's quite a bit. Gross. Grossy gross. Grossy gross. I just swallowed it. I held it for so long. You put it under your tongue and it's supposed to get into your tissues there, okay? To get it into your bloodstream faster. Now, what I just did, I left it in there quite a while, and then I kind of swished it around my tongue, and then I swallowed it. So, it'll go in everywhere it went. And I know this from experience, that it does. It seeps into your skin. And so inside, it seeps into your tissues, softens them up. So that's not a bad thing. but I can't say about everybody's situation, and I'm not telling anybody to go do what I've done. But I've indulged in different ways, testing it, you know. I just know what it's done for me. And then, so this is the first step in my concoction. Okay, not Joe's, not probably everybody else's, but see, he uses that oil, and a lot of people do. I just don't have a hankering to mess with all that stuff, but he'll take that oil, which is a lot more pliable. It's in between liquid and oil, but it's oil. I'm not saying it very well. It's thicker, but it's, I was going to say, but it's looser. Anyway, you would take a drop of that and put it on your pipe. And then you would put the fire to it. And you'd get a lot higher. It is an enhancer. But I don't know if you get to medicine as well. You might. If you smoke it, it goes into your lungs, and then it goes to the rest of your body, right? Because the whole idea is to get it in your body without going through the digestive system. That's why I laughed when I swallowed it. But hopefully it'll be in my system before it gets to my stomach. And there won't be any acid to kill it there either, so it won't matter. Right? Right. I'm itching my head. Oh, okay, so I'm supposed to be going out. I was looking for my shades. I have them. I bet you they're downstairs on that table. I remember taking them off. Now, I was also in the laundry room. Let's go in there. You know, when you're wearing the shades, you find that you can't see as well, and so it bothers you. All right, so I was talking about my stuff. Let me finish that. So then, this is fractionated coconut oil mixed with Rick Simpson oil by way of sunflower lecithin. On a heated burner plate, I forget what it's called. I've told you guys already before. It's a magnetic stirrer. I don't know what the brand name is or anything like that, but we got it from Amazon, I'm sure. Okay, they got a lot of stuff. So it's a little hot plate. It's got a digital thing for a temperature, and it's also got a digital thing. Not digital, you turn a knob. And you can control how fast this little stirrer goes. It's a little piece of magnetic metal that's covered with enamel. You stick it in the middle of your beaker. I had to buy a set of beakers, or I could have bought just one beaker, but I bought a set. I should have just probably bought one. But I have used a little one. I've used them. So anyway, what was the whole point? Oh, then you take this. I don't know what you do next. Because you can take that and I don't know, because this is my stuff. This is my process for medicine, because I use this 1-to-1, and then I mix that with something else that will let me. But no, with the lecithin, with plenty of lecithin in there, when you go to mix it with some other oil, it mixes. So if you're mixing it with a cream, I mixed this with a cream. I mixed something with a cream and it didn't work. So I'm not sure if because heat plays a part. Like when you're trying to do the joining of the two together, you do that with that magnetic stirrer. So it can be doing the stirring for you. And I don't know that there's an evaporation process. It's just a matter of heating it up to a certain temperature and letting it stir for a certain length of time so that they blend. It's called emulsifying. So you can take oil and mix it with water, and it'll do that. It'll blend together. Or oil with a cream. Well, the creams usually have oil attached to them. They're usually made with some oil. But you can take that thick oil and make it bind to that fractionated coconut oil. Now, that's what I was going to say. My salve, I use the other kind of coconut oil, the one that becomes solid, but it melts at 75 degrees. It's okay in the wintertime, but in the summer, you gotta be careful because it'll come out of your lids. Understand? I mixed, not all of them, but I mixed some beeswax. Organic, everything organic, and it melts at a higher temperature, okay? So I mix that together. And the beeswax does great, except for I don't think I heated it long enough. And after going through a winter, that it wasn't, you know, in a house. I don't think it was, what I'm trying to say is, I think the temperature got real freezing cold. Because I had some of this stuff in my trailer that I used to live in, and I wasn't there to live in it. So, I'm pretty sure part of it did. I don't know. All I know is it's kind of separated. It's like the beeswax separated into little balls. But I think if I put it back on my magnetic stirrer and got it to the right temperature and did it longer, then I could pour it off and it wouldn't be like that. I don't like all those little balls. But it's really good for topical use. And I still put it in me. I haven't had any adverse effects. Down below, inside, where you've got sensitive tissues, that'll take it to your body, you know, your bloodstream. And then if you're actually having sexual activity, oh my. On the back of my card, I don't have one right there, let me see. On the back of my card, I'm sure I read this to you guys. Some of you may be new. Oh, and you just have to, this card is kind of like getting to know me a little bit. I'm just going to read it to you, okay, from the front. Okay, let me show you the front. This is the front. And this is the back. So I'll read the front. It says, visit Lou's Touch on YouTube. And then it says, I stand with and for Jesus Christ. And that's in quotation marks. Lou's Touch is in quotation marks. And then the first line down below, see, I stewed for a long time. I wanted all my stuff to say what I wanted it to say and take up as much space as I was allowed. Didn't want to waste any advertising dollars. and so I had the option on the back too. And you could only have so many characters. I think it was 35. On the back was 35. And on the front here, you see the first line is big and the second line is probably half as big, and then the third lines are smaller yet. So I'm thinking I had 45 characters across the bottom, the 3 lines on the bottom. And then on the 2 lines above that, I only had 35 characters that I could use. And then all the lines on the back were 35 characters each. Okay, so I'm just explaining. I worked real hard on this. I took quite a while to get her done because I wanted it to my liking, okay? And I had run out. I only had like 1 or 2 of my other cards as I was doing that. Okay, so this says, I already told you, visit Lou's Touch on YouTube. That's the main important thing. I want people to go to my channel. So on this card, you don't have my phone number. You have my email and my Cash App. Okay. I already told you the second line, but I'm going to tell you again. In quotation marks, it says, I stand with and for Jesus Christ. Okay, third line. See, these are smaller yet. But the first line is in quotation marks. It says, be wise as a serpent and as harmless as a dove. Jesus said that to his apostles when he sent them out to preach. I'll call it preach. You know, they were sent into other places, other locations to give the word. And that was part of the advice he gave them. Be as wise, this is be wise as a serpent and as harmless as a dove. Now, I did not write down the scripture, but I think it's in Matthew. But the point is, I put down what was important and what I had room for, and I used every little bit. And then the second line is a line from it's a title to a paper that I wrote. Okay, one of the reasons for this channel was to share my papers that I wrote so long ago, and that one, the one I'm about to tell you, was 43 years ago that I wrote it. My daughter was 5. Okay, it says the second line says, turn on your light so you are not in the dark. Okay, that's in quotation marks too. Jesus is the light, guys. You know, positive attitude you can consider light also. Enlightenment. You know, if you go back and read my paper, I took that sentence apart. So I said that to my daughter. She was sitting in her room in the dark. And that rhymed too. Anyway, you know how it is at nighttime. It's not night yet, and it's getting darker and darker. Well, that's what was the situation. Her room was pretty dark because it had gotten dark and she hadn't noticed. But I said, turn on your light so you're not in the dark. And then I said to myself, wow, what did you just say? So I went in the other room, and in my journal, I wrote about it, okay? And I tore that sentence apart, the different words, and I put meanings to each of them, and then I analyzed it and wrote something at the bottom, and then voila, that's what it was, you know? Turn on your light so you're not in the dark. And it's really good. And it's back at the beginning of when I started this channel. You know, not the very first thing, but it's close. Because what I did was I decided that I needed to share my papers. They were inspirational. If you read them and take them apart and listen to them, they have important messages, okay? Maybe they won't fit everybody, but maybe something in them will. I know they'll fit somebody. I've already seen that happen. But nevertheless, they're very good. And they, I think I was the vessel that inspiration used to get you guys the message. And then I should have put it out there a long time ago. I was going to write a book. I mean, I was going to put a book together of my stuff, but there just wasn't enough of it. No, I just wanted it, I don't know, I just want to penetrate everybody's brain. Take me in, drink me in, what I say, and then keep what's good and get rid of the rest. That's what you got to do in life anyway, when you're reading. You take a chance reading someone else's stuff and hoping it doesn't, you know, I think some people are afraid that the Book of Mormon is a brainwash, will brainwash you or something. And no, you will know. I mean, you will know, period. Anyway, so that was off the track too. And I'm sitting here rocking on my bed. Okay, so I was going to go for a walk. And then I came up here to find my shades, and I know they're downstairs. Maybe they're on the kitchen table. I don't usually sit at the kitchen table. I probably just didn't even look there. And then they're, you know, kind of black, so they hide. Like my glasses are see-through, they hide. Okay, so I was talking. Okay, let's see here. So that last line on the first page is my email address. And then donate to my Cash App, and then I spell out what my Cash App is. And Cash App is not a bad thing, people. It's a really good thing. I can send money to somebody and they got it in a flash. And someone can send money to me and I got it in a flash and it didn't cost any money to send it. That's cash, okay? But they do have Bitcoin and that does cost money. But I like the Cash App. Okay, so on the back, I'll just read it, okay? It says, Lou's Magical Brew made with RSO. RSO is that medicine that you get out of marijuana, okay? This is my magical brew made with RSO, and it's true. I stirred and stirred and stirred that brew. Anyway, okay. Relieves pain, promotes blood flow, makes love-making extraordinary. Follow the ramblings of Lou's brain. What does she think? Let her explain. I love it. Anyway, so that's the back. Like I said, I only had so many lines. Let me show you the back. So many characters that I could use and 5 lines. So it's 35 characters. I think it just came out great because it says what I want it to. I call my stuff Magical Healing Ointment, but, you know, that's have to change. That was just because it's magical, and it does heal, and it takes away pain, and it's an excellent lube, and it is edible, people. Now, my concoction is not for making you high. However, with a goodly amount and some extra special sacks, you know, you will get high. I did anyway. I can't say that you will, but I did. I was shocked, and I wasn't trying to get that way. We were just trying to probably help me out. Because when you're really dry and brittle, sex isn't good. It's painful. So maybe just coconut oil will work, you know, you might try that. But I have a feeling to think my concoction is better. Because, like I said, I use the fractionated coconut oil. So you look for a coconut oil that does not get solid. It stays liquid all the time. And it should say fractionated. You should be able, if you're on Amazon, look it up. You should be able to look up fractionated coconut oil. Now I'm going to take that thing. That is a dose. It's supposed to be a dose. I cannot remember. I don't know if I can open it. 10 milligrams is a dose. But I'm not sure if there's more than that in there because she went and got some CBD stuff. And then I think she got some CBD and THC mixed. But I gotta find a knife or something. Oh, okay, just a second, people. I'll be right back. Oh, my sewing box has some little scissor things in there. If I can locate them. Okay, let's see. Because there's sutures in here too. That's sutures, and those are sutures. Where's the scissors, people? Oh, there's a pair. Okay. See, my mother was a nurse, and she had sutures, which these would make excellent roach clips. But mother had them for medical reasons, I guess. All right, so I'm cutting this. I don't know what it's going to taste like. But I know that it's candy. Come on. Maybe I'll just cut it more. Come on. Might need to put that in the fridge. Wow. All right. It tastes peanut butter. Kind of melty. So you should have it in the fridge, probably. That is really nice. Tastes like a Reese's peanut butter cup. All soft and well, nummy. Nummy. What were you doing, kitty? Are you checking out things? Here, see the kitty. He's over here sniffing things. So there, I have another pair of scissors. Good. Well, I don't know what's going on with me. You know, hopefully I'll get that figured out. But in the meantime and between time, I'm going to figure some other stuff out. You know, like what the most important thing is in life. What is that, you say? I don't know. I gave up on that a long time ago. You know, finding my mate. Finding my forever perfect companion. I still think I've found him, but man, life is sure getting in the way. There's things getting in the way that should not be. So, it remains to be seen. But I'm going to just have to get on with things. Because I don't know how long I have to live, you know? Can't just sit around waiting for your dreams to come true. Oh yeah, I guess you have to make them come true. Some of them, I don't know if you can. So, this cat that is in my room, loves cardboard. And it got cardboard behind me. I guess that's got probably some catnip. Something to make him go crazy. So anyway, he's got all that stuff chewed up, and he's chewed up end of my box. I still have it. It's in there. I can show it to you. He likes cardboard, okay? And here's a box that I brought some drinks here from Dad's house because I had them in my closet, okay? Can you see that? That's the cat destroying that. It's a good thing it's not something of value. I should probably put that back up. And I need to go outside for a walk. And it's really not that sunny, so I can probably do without my glasses. But sometimes the glare, you know, can get you. Okay. Anyway, I've got to go through my suitcases and my boxes. And really, when I say suitcases, yeah, I guess there is a couple, 3. But I've got a big suitcase that's got my electromagnetic mat in it, and I really should be using it. So, here pretty quick, I'm going to open that suitcase and get it out. Okay, let's go outside. I'm going to go downstairs and see if I can find my shades. I have to retrace my steps, I guess. Oh, you know what? Okay, first of all, I don't want to go up and down the stairs. There's, I put a load of wash in the dryer. See if I've left them in here. I don't see them in here, so I'm not going to worry about that. Okay. I just didn't want to pass this by if I'd left them here. They're not in there. I think I can turn that off now. Okay, we'll go downstairs. My legs are going to be wore out before I ever start. Hopefully I had the phone on me all the time, so it's keeping track of my steps. That was really good candy. Let's see, what time did I take that? Okay, so it's 1:30. Kids will be home, I think, at 2:45. Okay, let's just look. I want my shades, people. Where did I put them? Not there. Not there, not there. Dagnabbit. Alright, so I don't know where they are. One other place I went. That was in the garage. It's where I have an attitude adjustment. But, I got it. Where did I put my glasses? Yeah, they're not in here. Huh. That was really good. So I took it at 1:30. We'll have to see how long it takes to fill anything. I'm not really sure. I almost want to say that it might be 10 and 10. Like 10 milligrams of CBD and 10 milligrams of THC. I don't know how they can figure all that out. I want my glasses, people. There they are. Can't really see them when they're on something dark like that. Anyway, I'm gonna put you down for a second. Okay. All right. We've been going and going and going. I've been wasting time, haven't I? Need to quit doing that. Wasting time. I've got to do some research. Like, I need to figure out where I need to advertise my little house, okay? Because I know those of you who live in the city and you're coming across a certain type of dynamic where you don't have to work or you work from home. The thing is, this little house that I've got, okay? I've got a little house in a town of less than 1,000 people. A small town living. And there's a bigger grocery store 12 miles away and an even bigger grocery store 24 miles away. And then Walmart's an hour away, guys. But you do not have the city, okay? And then the scenery is beautiful. I lived on the edge of town. And you only go like a block and a half and you're on Main Street. And then if you turn to the left, you're gonna, in less than a quarter mile, you're gonna run into all this land, open land with trees and just all kinds of wonderful stuff, you know, and hunting. People do like to go hunting there. And I should mention that. And I am walking, people. And now I feel like I need a different shirt on. I took my t-shirt off and put on a long sleeve shirt because I was cold. But guess what? I got long pants on, long sleeve shirt. Now I'm hot. Brother. I'll just have to get over it. They say, though, for menopause, you need to be dressed so that you can tear your clothes off. Let me see if I can pull my sleeves up. That'll help a little bit. Okay. I know, I went over there to show you those lions, and then I didn't even stay on target very long. And the only way you'll be able to see them is if you can, you know, make it go up, make it big, your screen. I don't know if I can or not. I could try. Let's see, there's a lion. And another lion. And they're on a round ball. So is that supposed to be a world? Could be. I don't know what the symbolism is. I'll tell you what, I think I'll go this way. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. So there's a little palm tree. It must be one I was talking about. Okay, look. You see it? It's waving. Let me see, did you see the flowers? That's really pretty. And then they've got some other flowers in that box. So nice. I'm gonna go down this side fence here. It's just starting to have shade. But that'll help too if I don't have the sun beating down on my back. Okay, so I'll be walking down the fence line. Do 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 do. Da 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 da. Yes, I did. I left my room this morning and I did forget to pray. There's a song. I don't know how often they sing it at church. It says, ere you left your room this morning, did you think to pray? In the name of Christ our Savior, did you sue for loving favor at the break of day? Oh, how praying rests the weary. Prayer can change the night to day. So when life gets dark and dreary, don't forget to pray. And I do forget to pray. So I need to remember that. Okay, check these clouds out. They're all like separating. There's the sun and the blue skies are coming. So we just got to remember that. Things won't be so cloudy forever, hopefully. And I'm just walking. And then there's another song. Let's see, there's a few that just came to mind. There is beauty all around when there's love at home. Peace and plenty here abide or abound when there's love at home. Love at home. Oh, there's one who smiles on high when there's love at home. That is what we need to strive for. Peace, happiness, plenty. Plenty of peace and happiness anyway. Wonder how far I'll walk today. I haven't gotten very far. I've been getting just a little over a mile. I really need to get at least 2. Now, I took that candy for my pain pill. I haven't taken a pain pill today. And my back does hurt. And it does pop. I'm hoping my sister is right. She said popping was a good thing. You know, that it's releasing gas or something like that. Maybe it's releasing toxins that are in my bones. Wouldn't that be cool? That's a nice way to think about it. I need to concentrate better and take care of myself so that I live longer. I think I'll go over one more block. That pontoon boat's there. I'm losing my voice. I need to make sure that I'm drinking lots of fluids, and I've been drinking coffee. Now that's probably not a good thing. I mean, it's a good thing to drink the coffee, but not the sugar that I'm taking with it. I'm using stevia as far as the packet sweetener, but I've been using that non-dairy creamer. And I need to look and see what that's sweetened with, because it definitely, if I have that with my coffee in the right dimensions, the right dose, whatever, serving. Anyway, my coffee is delicious, so I know there's something going on there. I don't have to have sugar is the point. However, it does taste better with a little bit of sweetener. So Nancy bought it because Philip said she got Splenda. But right on the box it says Splenda made with stevia. I'm sorry, little one. Little 2. Another one popped up, you see. This is not the one that had the clover, but it's still got nice grass. And someone recently just chopped it, gave it a haircut. Okay, I'm gonna go down this one. Here comes a new car, looks like. I mean, new to them, it's got a license plate tag in the window. I need to call those people. We gotta call and find out what it's gonna cost me to license that car. Can't wait to get it. So I should be making some plans right now so that as soon as I get it, I can go. I want to come see family, people. Teresa D. I hope you're watching my videos, Teresa. I kind of think you are. But anyway, take advantage of me while I'm here, kiddo. I'll be glad to come and help you. You know, everybody needs help. I sure needed it. But family was, you know, a long ways away. I'm not even sure how many miles. I want to say 1,600. I'll have to look and see. Might be a 16-hour trip instead of 1,600. You know, if you could continue driving the whole time and trust the other driver not to go to sleep and yourself not to go to sleep, you ain't going nowhere if you're dead on one side of the road. You want to go on a trip, Teresa? I mean, we could go on a trip and talk, but that'll be a lot of talking. I need company. And basically, mostly, that's all I need is to have some company. And I won't stay very long either. I'm trying to get a friend of mine to go because he's a mechanic and he knows what to do with all my vehicles that don't run. It's not that they don't run. I've got one that runs, but it won't go anywhere because it needs something to do with clutch plate or something. And then the van that I drove up here a few years ago on Mom and Dad's 59th anniversary, it's sitting out in the grass, so mice could have gotten to it. But nevertheless, all it needed was 2 tires and a battery. So that's not that bad, especially there's a salvage yard not far away. Maybe I could find the right tires. We've done that before. I just want Joe to have a vehicle so I can have the truck. I want my truck. And I want to sell some stuff while I'm there, though. So you could be company there, too. Anyway, I do have some things I need to do. I just don't want to go across country by myself. Let's see, maybe I'll still go over one more. I just went around the extra block on the other side of Nancy. Now this is Nancy's road. So I'm going to go around her block behind her again. Then I do need to just slow down on the walking. Meaning don't walk so fast, you know. The idea is that you just keep moving. And I don't know. I was doing really well before my surgery. Because I even got up to 5 miles one time. I know it's because I was mad. You know, when you got your extra juices flowing, it helps. You're too busy talking to worry about how hard it is to walk. Well, the same reason, you know, I video with you guys. So I pulled out that book. It's on my bed. And later on, I'm going to probably open it up and see if I can't read a little something out of it. You know, like a preview. But now we know that it's on Audible. You can go and find it. And I don't know if you have to pay to be able to read their stuff. Or if they have a monthly fee. I've heard a monthly fee, but I mean, like, maybe you could just do it for a month. Because there's a certain book you want to listen to. Well, first thing you do is you call the library and see if they can get a hold of it. Depends on what part of the country you're living in. Because if you're living in part of a country that's Mormon infested, we'll say, it's a wonderful thing, guys, it is. But there are places in the country that have more members of the church than others, okay? So like when they settled in Salt Lake Valley, after a while they sent people to other places to settle. I think St. George might have been one. You know, southern Utah, and they were in the middle of the top part of the Utah, and then I think some went to Idaho, all up and down, okay? So I'm not sure how many communities started. But Mormons are prevalent in Kennewick area. In the Tri-Cities over there where Dad was, there's a lot of them. I don't know about this part right here. Nancy did show me where the church was, though. I mean, we were driving by it and she showed it to me. You know, I really went to church to take Dad because I know that I'm different. I've got my own ideas, my own schooling thing going on, and inspiration going on, and I'm just different. And so those that are raising their children don't want to hear what you got to say if their children are listening. So, I don't know how to explain it any better. I just tend to make people mad. See, here's that other road. There's that building, and it has cars. I wonder if they need help. I'm an excellent employee to have, that's all. I've got a lot of skills, different areas, you know, like retail, wholesale, people skills. I don't want to do what I did before, though, people. So I need to remember that. One of the main things you need is to be happy in your job. Okay, now I went past that block. I'm just going to show you those trees. A little bit closer. See, right over there is the path that goes down to where the water is. And I am by myself. I don't know how much juice I have. In other words, I could walk down there, but it's a long ways down, and then to actually get to the water, there's a real steep grade. I can't do that. I need to have some climbing poles. They're like ski poles, except for they're for walking or hiking. Something to help you get up a ridge. You know, it'll grab into the dirt and you can use it to pull yourself up. I'm not really communicating my thoughts very well right now. Do, 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 do. Okay, so, little lady. I don't know which one you are. There's a Linda and there's a Lizette. Someone's singing, and she said she was singing my song, so I'm trying to figure out what song was that, because I sang a few on there. But there is one that I sang a lot a while back, and then I sang it for probably the first time in a while. When I Found Her by Stephen Sanchez. Really good. You guys should look it up. La-da. Do do do, da da da, da 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 da. Oh, I heard you say I will never fall in love again unless I find her. I will never fall in love unless it's you I fall into. I was lost in the darkness, but then I found her. I found you. Heaven, when you held me close. Do do do. You're the one I love the most. Oh, see, I just put those words in there. All right, coming up on Nancy's house, and I'm really starting to feel tired. Maybe I'll go to the end of the street and back and stop, and then that's just gonna have to do it. Do it to it. Then I need to figure out the exercises in the chair. There's yoga that you can do in the chair, or just different things, you know, stretch your body, move your body. And then I need to get some music that I want to dance to, and then find a place to dance. No, I don't want to go out in the world and go dancing. That's not what I want to do. Unless I was with my man and he wanted me to, we could go dancing. That would be lovely. But for now, I have to concentrate. I can't. Okay. Now I'm going back, and then I'm going in the house. I wonder if they've got a lawnmower. There are those people who are diligent in getting these dandelions. I just need to know more. So there's only a few branches that have the purple leaves, but we don't have long. Don't have long to get ready for the winter, guys. Those of you who lived like I was living before. You need a wood stove intact and in place and not leaking in your house. And if worse comes to worse, you know, you can at least heat hot water on that. Plus you're heating yourself. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna sit right here. Try. Oh, so here's my water bottle from the other day. I don't know if that was yesterday. That was yesterday. Yesterday's gone. Okay, so now I'm swinging. I'll be swinging. I know. Quit being silly. Okay, that breeze feels really good. It really does. So, I'm one of Keanu Reeves' biggest fans. I don't know who couldn't be. So what made me think of that, you know? Dog Star for one, his quotes for another, his generosity. It's really too bad there's so many bad people in the world. People out there taking advantage of people. That's what Satan will do too. He'll try to ruin what is good. And I need to remember that too. I have a hard time. There's a lot of false information out there. Well, I walked pretty good. Let's see what it says. Oh, we're over past an hour, so that's good. I know, I talked for quite a while before we went walking. So I don't know how long we walked. Oh well, it's okay. At least I got out and I walked today, and that rhymed. I know you guys can tell. I just like to point it out. So I need to go back and listen to these things and do like, see, that school that we did also had like transcription and taking dictation and all kinds of things. They must not have had it in that test because I never did that very well. Da-da, do-do-do. Yeah, so that's what I'm doing. I'm writing up some ads. And I'm thinking, instead of advertising at home where the property is, I should advertise in a place where people need that. Where they want to get out of the city. Where they can appreciate a project that they can put a little bit of time into and then have a little house, a little home. I don't have this right where you need it. You know, for the price of what you'd buy I guess a new car. But you know, some of those new cars are way spendy. My, and the trucks too. And that was a few years ago. It was like $60,000 for a nice truck. So I don't know. I need to do some investigating because that's the thing I want to do. I want to get my truck in really good shape, and then I'm going to probably put it on the market because I need the money. And I also don't know my timeline, so it's stupid to wait around. And that's what I do. The property in Colorado, I kept it all this time, and mostly because I wanted a safe haven. If something goes wrong in this world, in America, if we can get to there, I mean, it's in the middle of the country, so it's not on either coast. And I got a feeling either coast is going to be in bad shape. And then there's probably going to be tsunamis, and those are going to come in for a ways. So, I mean, you people that are thinking you got time to wait, I don't know if you do. I really don't know what's coming. But I know in some of the prophecies they said America would look barren, and that not even a dog would wag his tail. So that ain't sounding too good, is it? And then I know there's things about running for the trees, running for the hills, but I think that's anywhere. If you need to hide away from what's going on in the city, you need a place to go. You need to know where you're going to go, and you need to have supplies. How are you going to get supplies there? And how are you going to have enough gas in your vehicle to get there? So the thing is to already be there. But, you know, the well, I have a well. So my property does have power and a well. And it's got a septic, but it's hooked up to a different trailer. A trailer that doesn't have what it needs. We were going to be doing the walls all the way around. We tore stuff down. We got some of the walls done, but we never got it all wrapped. We never did a lot of things. And so there you are, right back at the finish. All that wood is not, in my eyes, is no good. And then I've got a whole stack of wood that goes on the outside of my trailer. You know, it's wallboard, but it's outside wallboard. And it's on nice mobile homes or manufactured homes or modular homes, whatever you want to call those things. I have enough to do my trailer. And I bought the plumbing enough to do that trailer. I had 2 bathrooms and a kitchen. I bought the spray-in insulation. That's rather spendy too. Waiting to, I think we were going to put it around the plumbing because we were going to go in through the floor on the top of the house. But I don't know what the plan is now, if there even is a plan, but there should be. Are you listening, Joe? I've got a water heater in that trailer that you said had no electrical fire. I don't know. I mean, it could have, because I know it had shorts going on. There was a place that water was getting in between the roof and the ceiling. And that's where the wires were. But anyway, that water heater in there, you said it still works. I would be having that in the house, in that trailer that we were going to fix, where you've been living. Put a water heater right there in the kitchen so it can share with the bathroom and all we need is 1 bathroom. However, I thought 2 bathrooms would be good because you could have a duplex. You could easily turn that into a little duplex with a bedroom, a bathroom, and a great room that has the kitchen and the living room all put together. There's a way to do things. I know you need help. But you sure helped that neighbor out quite a bit. I think he could help you. He owes me big time. You went and helped him and ruined your body worse than it was already ruined. And you never brought a paycheck home. You let him have all of it. There's a couple of scenarios I've figured out about that, but I don't really know. I just know that you worked for 5 years and I didn't get paychecks. That should tell you something. So, should build that house like we planned. Put that trailer on a foundation and get everything working. Fix the shorts in that one wall. Do the plumbing. get it hooked to that septic. That's not impossible. If things go right and I have any extra money, I could try to help you out a little bit. I don't know. Like I said, a little bit. But like if you have to rent the trencher to get it hooked up to septic, that shouldn't be a big deal. You just need to have it all planned out so you can do it all in a day. And then there's the other idea. That same trencher, can't you use that to make the line go into the water well? And then up to that building? There's no cows to fall into the trench now. I was worried about the cows and the goats or whoever before. Just saying, if we can do a bunch in a short amount of time, it wouldn't cost that much to rent the trencher. And it doesn't have to be the spectacular nice thing. It can be the little thing. I've seen them. You set it up, you put the thing on the ground, and then you walk with it. You don't have to sit in it. It doesn't have to be a little, what you call that thing? Backhoe. You know, if you get the little backhoe and it makes that real nice little trench, well, yeah, that's fun. I'm just saying you don't got to do it that way. And then another thing. We need to put electricity over to that barn. What do you think? We need electricity to the barn. I don't know if there's a way or if you even care, if you want to do that, but that chicken coop that's over there, the one that Terry's son used to live in, you know, when they were there. Anyway, you can either put electricity over to that building where it's at, or maybe you could bring that building over closer to the trailer. I don't know how you could do that. It's already got a lot of stuff there. But there's a lot of things there we need to think about. And I do need to make a trip there. And I'd like to make it profitable. Profitable and also a good use of time. You know, where we could get taking care of things all at once. Or within a few days. Right now I don't have anybody to come with me. And I feel like I do need that. Unless I had some, I started to say kick, you know what, music. Something to get me going, get me moving, get me singing and dancing while I'm driving down the road. Then I'll stay awake. But it's got to be a lot of hours worth of that stuff. I got a song in my head. Something for you, but I can't put the song together. Dun, 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 dun. Anyway, it's about something for you. And it's got a real good beat in it. That's all I know. So it won't be long. The children will be home and there will be life around the house. It's kind of weird being by yourself. But also, if you get yourself in order, which is what I need to do, it's better to be by yourself. Because what I got to do is figure out a really good ad. And I have been thinking about that a lot. I'm thinking about carrying the contract to where I can get some money down and then get payments coming in. But it has to be paid off fast. It can't be one that's forever. So I thought the price wasn't going to be all that high. But what I think I'm going to do is do it's kind of like rent to own. You'll have to pay a certain amount down and then a certain amount of payments at a certain amount of money. I'm not going to worry about figuring up interest and how much you paid this time and so what's your interest next time. I'm just going to figure out what I want and divide it up between the amount of payments it takes, and I need a good size down payment. You know, one that'll help me out and one that'll clinch the deal to where you're not gonna like, oh, change your mind and quit. You have to have enough invested to keep going. Okay. Now, I've done contracts before where I let people take some time to pay me. But the problem is, I have cancer, and I don't know how much time I got. I'm figuring on living. I'm not figuring on dying, but you never know what's going to happen. So my point is, I'm trying to figure out what would be good for a person and good for me too, but it has to be paid off within a few years. You know, at first I said 2, and then I thought about 3, and then I thought about 4. But a lot depends, you know. If I go on like I'm going, I'm doing good. Doing great. I don't feel like I'm dying. But, you know, things can sneak up on you and get you. Now, I am trying. I haven't given up. I am trying to figure out different ways to fight this cancer. I'm already at stage 4. And I finally asked my doctor what I could expect, when, how much time do I have? You know, approximate, whatever, how, because I had never asked anybody that. And that was my last appointment. And she told me as long as I keep taking my treatments, then I could live for years. But that's could live for years. So I heard the years. And the point is, she said, you have to take your treatments. Okay, now, so these treatments, I don't know if I want to take these treatments the rest of my life, but if that's what I got to do, I will. And I'm thinking some of it I don't have to. And the big thing they want to do is get rid of the cancer, but yet build up my bones at the same time. So that's going to be tricky. But in the meantime, I have got some ivermectin, and I'm going to do that again. I took it 2 days in a row, the right amount of dose. And that's been a week or 2 ago, probably at least 2 weeks ago. And then I'm going to do it again. And also, there's a place that I haven't, like I said, I haven't placed the order to get it, but that you can get 100 ivermectin pills for $100. But I'm not sure if you got to have a prescription or not. So that's the deal. I need to have the money to do it, but I could like place an order and then at the end opt out so that I could see if I was going to have a prescription. Because that's an important part. I don't know if my cancer doctor would give me a prescription for that. But it is true. I told you guys this. You know, I talked to somebody years ago. My grandma Smith told me to call him. She said he had fought off cancer and won, evidently several times. Okay, so you would think he didn't win if he still has to keep fighting it. But first time he had cancer, was diagnosed with cancer, he was 20 years old. And he was 70 at the time that I talked to him. So he made it 50 years. And he said that I needed to do a colon cleanse. Do a cleanse. And so I did, because I was thinking that I probably had cancer. I hadn't been told I did. I just, you know, I knew there was something wrong. Anyway, me and my newly-wed husband, we both took a colon cleanse together. We only had one bathroom. That was a trip. But I saw those parasites in the toilet. I did. I saw parasites in the toilet. So that's a good thing. Get rid of them things. We have parasites, people. But that's what he said that he did to get rid of cancer. So I think he had cancer more than once. But I just remember him telling me that. So I bought some and did it. And that's what I need to do now. I need to get a nice colon cleanse, and then that part is true. It would be good to not have anybody else in the house. Nancy's got some stuff, and I thought about it too, because it says a colon cleanse, and it says a 15-day one, and it's pills that you take. You're supposed to take 1 to 2 pills And she took one the other day because she needed help, and I took one, and oh my. It didn't happen all at once, you know. It was come the morning, and I had these urges, and I took care of business, but the urges didn't quit. I mean, they were there for the day, and we went to did we go to the zoo that day? We went somewhere that day. Probably wasn't the zoo. All I know is even at the zoo, I was still looking for a bathroom all the time. So I don't know if that was what that was. Talk about the wrong things on here, don't I? Anyway, the point is, if you have cancer and you have not tried that, you need to do that. And I had forgotten that until the other day, so I need to do that. See, Nancy was showing me that pill bottle, and then I was telling her. Grandma Smith told me to call him. And Grandma Smith was into vitamins big time. My mother used to think she was crazy because my mother was in the medical field, but she was not in the way of thinking that vitamins were any good. You know, chiropractors are quacks, and vitamins, you're a quack. And chiropractors are not a quack. Some of them can be. I think that one that I took Joe to was hard on him. Because here's Joe with nerve damage, right, in his spine. And then here's this chiropractor. He's using this thing that rattles and rolls. What do I want to say? It's a vibrator type thing, and you hit him with it along his spine. Well, I don't think that's a good idea, because he's going right into his nerves. And by the time I quit taking him to that chiropractor, he weren't walking too good. And I really almost think that that guy did it to him. So he's not doing so great walking around and feeling in his hands and stuff. So he needs help. And I need help. We're just a mess. You guys take care of things while you're young. Plan for the future. Don't wait. Okay? At least know this, that if you're spending money, you got to be making some money. You can't keep spending money and have it last. It will go away because you spent it. Yes, let's have this, and let's have that, and let's have this, and let's have that. Oh, we need that, so let's just run right out and get it. No, you can't keep doing that. And I did that for many years to someone who didn't understand that. You know, some people can only understand what they want and what they need. They don't care how they get it. Oh, this is that woman. All right, so the caregiver is supposed to be here at 2:30. Normally, the school's back in. The kids won't even be off the bus until 2:45. So she's still coming at 2:30. You can't do that. She parked really well. Anyway, because they get paid quite well. I mean, the people that come here get paid, but the people who send them here get paid just as much. I'm saying, so every little bit does count. And no, it's not free. They're keeping track. I mean, they are with the old people anyway. They're keeping track of what you spend. If you own a house, they want it. So, you know, I'm just saying, be careful. And it's not like it's free, because then they come back on you after they die. They come back on the estate for all the things that they spent money on. You know, I'm not sure if Meals on Wheels has anything to do with that, because that could be a separate group. But there was, Dad had Meals on Wheels coming, and then he had the caregiver people coming, and then there was ones that came to see if he was eligible. So I talked to her, and that's when I found out, no, they go after the estate. They know that you have a house. They put a lien on it. Doesn't mean they get the house. It just means they get all the money that they spent. It'll be part of the settlement. So, I don't know. It is a hard thing to trust people, I guess. There have been people who gave their property to their children, and then their children kicked them out. Not cool. But you know, they could have done something about this property, and then if Dad had nothing, they'd take care of him without cost. So if that house was in someone else's name, they couldn't get it. So anyway, that's that. No one listens to me anyway. And then my sister says to me, what makes you think you know everything? I says, 'cause I do. I mean, I don't, and I will tell you if I don't, but if I do, I've been around a long time, and I've gone through a lot of things. And then there's just common sense. I don't have any of that common sense. But I do have practicality, and I do know how to make my dollar bill stretch, because I never had very many of them. And some of those people out there, you guys are calling hoarders. I told her, I says, you know, I worked awful hard for everything I had. For every little thing, even if I bought it at a garage sale, I worked hard for that money, and I worked hard finding it, and it's mine, and I don't want to have to go out and buy it again. You know, there are some things that I guess hoarders are doing that I was not doing, you know, leaving your food trays all around and just letting garbage pile up in the room, and not, you know, but I had disorganized and organized stuff. That's the way that was. I had a lot of stuff, but I could tell you where a lot of it was. I mean, any time that something would pop up and we needed it, I had one. That was a long time ago. That was before I left Vancouver to go to Texas, and that was in 1991. Yeah, 1991, wow, a long time ago. I was going through hell then, too. I'm not going through hell right now, excuse me, but I was going through hell then. Why? A lot of things happened, but I had been evicted out of my house that I was going to be buying, and part of it due to a person that was, he came to my house drunk, and I wouldn't let him in my house. I left him on the porch, and he didn't live all that far away, but it was up a mountainside. I should have done better. I should have done better, but at that time of day, and him drunk as a skunk, I couldn't let him in the house. So he got all mad at me, and there were other things that happened too that made him mad at me. Especially, you know, I wasn't into him. That happens too. People in love with you and you're not in love with them, so they get all mad. Anyway, not that he was in love with me, but he could see I was high quality. I had to say it because it rhymed, okay? Any old who. I should be in there working, and I'm gonna be pretty soon. What I have to do is I need to find all the different places that I can advertise within a 100-mile radius of my little house in Downs. Really, I could do it more than that, because like I said, if I was to do it in a place where it's a city, and people are trying to get out of that life, you know, you could have a house with some sweat equity. You have to do sweat equity, and you have to have some money, but not a lot. Not like going and buying another house. I mean, these people are going out and buying $300,000 houses, and you got to pay 20% down. How much is that? That's a hell of a lot of money. Well, you could have a house, it's a little dinky thing, but it has all the utilities. So you can either leave it up and add on to it. You know, you can fix it up, and you could add on to it, like another couple rooms or something. Like a lot of places, they go and they put a thing across the back, okay? So the back is only 20 feet wide. It's 24 feet deep on one side and 18 on the other. And there's a cellar there, that's why. So there's a, a 5 foot by 6 foot piece of land that is taken out, or piece of house, whatever, is taken out, and there's a cellar going downstairs. I cannot picture it in my head, but I've been down there a few times. It's got a steep little staircase going down, but I'm sure it's got to be that. And then the bathroom is right there too. So I bet the bathroom is like a 5 by 6 also, which would be 12 feet. I'm just trying to picture that, because the bedroom is a 9 by 13, and on the end of it, there is a walk-in closet, okay? And on the other side of the walk-in closet is a bathroom. Maybe that bathroom is somewhere over that little cellar place. All I know is in the cellar, there's a water heater, and there's water softener. Then there's a shelf for like jars and stuff. And somehow I'm seeing something covered in cement. So I don't know. It's not important really. The important thing is I'm just trying to figure out how to word this ad, and then I was thinking maybe I should put it in places where there are cities, where people are wanting to get out and go live in a small town. And then if they have a little bit of money and can give it to me, they can be buying a house for a little bit. And believe me, I mean, this is one thing that's been really nice. Over the years, I have not had to make rent payments. It's kind of like having a car, not having to pay insurance payments, not having to pay bank payments for the car. I mean, after I went through all that and had to pay and had to pay and had to pay, once I didn't have to pay anymore, I didn't. Okay, what I'm trying to say is I didn't go out and buy another car and give myself debt. It's better to not have debt, then you can actually feel free to live. So, just words of advice from Mary Lou. I don't know what I'd do having a house payment, and then your whole check from working so hard all month goes to pay the house payment, and then you can't pay the bills to go with it, and there's just all kinds of bills that go with the house, isn't there? But then again, not. I mean, sometimes it's not always a good idea to buy, okay, but sometimes it is. The thing is, you don't want to get locked into something that you can't get out of. So when you want to move somewhere else, you've got to sell it, or you've got to rent it out. I don't know if that kept seeing me or not. It was telling me my battery was ready to stop. So I probably should get up and go find some food too. I just like to talk. And as I talk, I'm thinking, you know, I'm hearing my thoughts instead of them just rolling around in my head. I've had some great opportunities over my life when I've done bad, made bad choices. I was not a bad person. I just went for the underdog. I didn't go out and find a good job, and I was worried about staying home with my daughter, but that didn't work out so great either, you know, and maybe it would have been better if I'd have had some money instead of lived in poverty. But she didn't like me bringing home things from the garage sales. She differed from my Carly. My Carly loved that. I got her a outfit one day. She was young, way young, but I got her a princess outfit. Went to the floor. It was pink. It was all glittery. When she came to visit me, she put that on immediately. And when she went to leave my house, then she took it off. But at my house, she was a princess. And it was fun. But what the point was is I'd take her garage selling with me, and she was just ecstatic. She was happy. She didn't care that I didn't pay a fortune for that. You know, Jessica was a little bit older and worried about her peers and all that stuff, so that's what happens when they get older. That was yesterday, and yesterday's gone. That's the song playing in my head right now. Anyway, I do need to go figure out where to put these ads, and I thought I would try to figure it out and read it on here. I need to have a place on my community. There is a place. All I gotta do is make post. Then I need to get you guys to go to my community and look. And you know, you guys get, if you're a subscriber, then you get a little message that says I put a video out, but I don't know if you get a message about my community. Maybe you would. It looks to me like people are starting to come home from work. And see, here before long the kids will be here, so that makes sense. Some people try to work the same schedule. Not that you can, but some people, you know, will indulge you. Go to work early and get off early. Like the kids, oh my, they got on the bus at like 6:50. I can't even imagine. The whole big old rigmarole that goes with that. Schooling. Bus drivers. Breakfast. Eating breakfast at school sometimes. You know, and all these schools are doing the same thing. And the buses are out picking up kids. And everything is timed. And it's really good. It's really great. But it's just amazing. Anyway, I think I will quit. It's been 1 hour and 46 minutes. Quit and go see if I can't find something to eat. Then I've got to find out where I should advertise. Because I also thought about LA. Or any of those towns up and down the California where it's so grown over. There's so many people. You know, it would take the right person, okay? So in Kansas, pot's illegal. Even the fake kind. It's all illegal, they don't care. So there's no tolerance for that. But if you don't have that problem, or let's say that you like marijuana, then it'd be wise not to be sharing it with people, maybe. Maybe, I don't know. And then don't be trying to grow it. Just smoke it. I have a feeling you don't get in trouble so much for smoking. But growing it, oh my God. Even if you're just trying to do a little thing and you can't. It's not good. Not good at all, okay? I can tell you from experience. I lost a lot in that place. That's enough of that story. The point is, I'm trying to be full foreclosure, not foreclosure, full disclosure. Marijuana is illegal in Kansas, and one of these days it will get to be legal, but it's not. Not even for medical, nothing. And they're stupid. They're just stupid people about that, so. But I know there's a lot of people there that smoke. Just don't grow it. Don't grow it. Besides that, it's not worth growing. Just go buy it. And then you can, you can't buy it there, but Colorado's right next door, you know. Find out where you can get it. And then, I'm just saying that sometimes it's not a good idea to tell people what you got. Because they want it. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, you guys take care. And yes, I love you, my brothers and sisters. Even though, you know, sometimes it's not easy to get along with your brothers and sisters. So, we try. That is the goal, we try. Okay? And I don't know. I'm kind of getting tired of trying. For some things. For some things. Right now I just need to get up in my room and get my magnetic mat out, set it up underneath the bedspread so the cat can't get claws into it, and set up the electrical stuff and use it. And drink lots of water. And really I need to do that. I could be selling sessions on my mat. They do that at chiropractors' places and at other places as a relaxation therapy, but it also opens up your vessels, your blood veins. It opens them up and lets the blood rush through it, which is feeding you. As long as you got something good in you. If you got a lot of toxins in you, then it might not be so good for you to do, because it'll be feeding your body the toxins too. But I do think I need to do that. So, since I don't have any immediate plans, I don't know, I need to talk to, I just hate to make a big old mess and then have to pack it up. But I do need to go get some documents, go put a for sale sign up in my place in Kansas. I'm gonna put an ad up anyway. But see, I could put a for sale sign in the window. And if all my metal is still there, I've got all kinds of metal. See, the fence blew down. We went and bought barn metal, and then we laid it sideways and screwed it into the post. And so it was pretty easy and pretty quick, except for the wind blows. So it's the wind has blown the metal off of the post. And hopefully it's still there. There were people wanting the metal, but they didn't want to pay. So anyway, I just need to figure all that out. Kids are walking home from school. I see kids. Okay. Well, listen, you guys take care. Do a little jig. Do a little dance. Make a little love. Get down tonight, baby. Okay? Have some fun. I said you could. No, it depends on what you call fun. Don't get me in trouble, okay? And I'll talk to you later. Bye.